The ocean has a way of hiding things. Not just creatures, but entire worlds. And at the very bottom of that world, lies a place so extreme, so hostile, that almost nothing should survive there. A place deeper than Mount Everest is tall. A place where light never reaches. A place where pressure can crush steel like paper. It's called, the deepest part of the ocean. And the question is simple. What happens, if you fall into it? At first, it doesn't seem that dangerous. You fall into the ocean, just water, right? Waves. Salt. Maybe a little cold. But the ocean is not one place. It's a vertical world, stacked in layers. Each one more extreme than the last. And the deeper you go, the less it feels like Earth. To understand what would happen, we need to follow the fall. From the surface, all the way down, to the deepest known point on this planet. A place called the Challenger Deep, inside the Mariana Trench. Nearly 11,000 meters below sea level. That's almost 7 miles straight down. Now imagine falling into that. At the surface, everything feels normal. Sunlight dances across the water. Waves crash. The air is warm. You hit the ocean. Cold shock hits your body instantly. Even in tropical regions, the sudden drop in temperature can cause your muscles to tense, your breathing to spike. It's like your body forgets how to function for a moment. But this is just the beginning. Because once you start sinking, things begin to change. The first layer is called the sunlight zone. This is the ocean we know. Bright. Alive. Full of fish, coral, movement. Here, light penetrates the water, allowing plants to grow. This is where most ocean life exists. If you stay here, you might survive. But you're falling. And gravity is pulling you down. As you descend past 200 meters, the light begins to fade. Colors disappear. First red, then orange, then yellow. Until everything becomes blue. Then black. This is where things get strange. Because your eyes become useless. Welcome to the twilight zone. A place where light barely exists. Shadows stretch endlessly. Creatures here have adapted in bizarre ways. Huge eyes, to capture the smallest traces of light. Or no eyes at all. Because down here, seeing is optional. But your body isn't built for this. The deeper you go, the greater the pressure. Every 10 meters, pressure increases by 1 atmosphere. That means at just 100 meters. You're already under 10 times the pressure at sea level. It's like having a truck sitting on every square inch of your body. And it keeps increasing. At around 300 meters, your lungs begin to struggle. Air spaces inside your body compress. If you're holding your breath, it becomes painful. Like an invisible hand is squeezing your chest. Harder, and harder. And that's not even the weirdest part. Because gases inside your body start behaving differently. Nitrogen, normally harmless, begins to affect your brain. Divers call it nitrogen narcosis. It's like being drunk, but underwater. Your thinking slows. Your judgment fades. Simple decisions become impossible. At this point, you may not even realize the danger you're in. And that makes it worse. As you sink deeper, past 1,000 meters, you enter the midnight zone. Total darkness. No sunlight. No color. No escape. It's colder now. Near freezing. The water temperature drops to just a few degrees above zero. Your body starts losing heat rapidly. Hypothermia begins setting in. Your muscles weaken. Your movements slow. But down here, something incredible happens. Life still exists. Creatures in the darkness begin to glow. Bioluminescence. A chemical reaction that produces light. Flashes. Pulses. Glows. It's like an alien sky, but underwater. Some use it to hunt. Others use it to hide. Some even use it to communicate. But the deeper you go, the stranger life becomes. Giant mouths. transparent bodies, needle-like teeth. Creatures designed for a world of scarcity. Because food is rare here. Every meal could be your last. To understand why, you have to imagine this place like a desert. But instead of sand, it's water. Endless. Empty. Silent. And you are still falling. At 4,000 meters. You reach the abyssal zone. Now the pressure is crushing. Over 400 times the pressure at the surface. At this depth, even submarines struggle to survive. Your body simply cannot handle it. Air spaces collapse completely. Your lungs shrink. Your ribcage compresses. If you somehow reach this depth without protection, it would be catastrophic. Instantly. But the real danger is pressure itself. Pressure doesn't just push on you. It invades you. It forces its way into every gap, every cell. It changes how molecules behave. Proteins begin to malfunction. Cell membranes lose their structure. Your body starts to break down at the microscopic level. And yet, some creatures thrive here. Deep-sea fish have no air-filled spaces. No swim bladders. Their bodies are soft, flexible. Built to withstand crushing forces. It would be like replacing rigid glass with rubber. So instead of breaking, they bend. But humans, we are not built like that. Not even close. And this is where things get terrifying. Because even if you could somehow survive the pressure, you're still not at the bottom. Far below lies the deepest part of the ocean. A place so extreme, it feels almost unreal. The hadal zone. Starting around 6,000 meters. And going down to the deepest known point on Earth. The Challenger Deep. Nearly 11,000 meters below the surface. To understand this depth, imagine dropping Mount Everest into the ocean. Its peak would still be underwater. That's how deep it is. And if you were falling into this abyss, what happens next becomes almost impossible to imagine. Because down there, the rules of life completely change. By the time you reach the hadal zone, you are no longer in the ocean most people understand. This is a different world. A crushing, silent, eternal darkness. At nearly 11,000 meters, the pressure is beyond comprehension. Over 1,000 times the pressure at the surface. Imagine stacking 50 jumbo jets on top of a single human body. That's the kind of force pressing down on you. From every direction. At the same time. But this is where things get strange. Because pressure doesn't just crush. It transforms. At these depths, water itself behaves differently. It becomes denser. Heavier. More aggressive. It pushes into every microscopic space. Even into the spaces between molecules. If a human body somehow reached this depth unprotected, it wouldn't simply get squeezed. It would collapse. Instantly. Your lungs would compress completely. Air pockets vanish. Your body, mostly water, would resist, but only for a moment. Then everything equalizes. And that's the terrifying part. Because pressure equalization doesn't mean survival. It means, there's nothing left to fight back. But the real reason this environment is so deadly is far more surprising. It's not just the pressure. It's what pressure does to biology. Proteins, the tiny machines that keep your body alive, begin to lose their shape. And when proteins lose their shape, they stop working. Enzymes fail. Cells stop communicating. Chemical reactions break down. It's like a factory where every machine suddenly forgets its job. And within seconds, your body ceases to function as a living system. But somehow, life still exists here. At the very bottom of the ocean. Scientists have found creatures that seem almost impossible. Snailfish, soft-bodied, ghostly pale. Amphipods, shrimp-like scavengers. Even microscopic organisms. Living in the sediment. And that's not even the weirdest part. These creatures don't just survive pressure. They depend on it. To understand why this happens, you have to think about balance. At extreme depths, life has evolved molecules that stay stable under pressure. Special compounds, like TMAO. These chemicals protect proteins. Keep them functioning. Even when the weight of the ocean is trying to tear them apart. It's like adding reinforcement to a building in an earthquake zone.
Without it, everything collapses. With it, everything holds together. But here's the twist. If you took these deep-sea creatures and brought them to the surface, they would die. Because now, there isn't enough pressure. Their bodies are so adapted to extreme conditions that normal Earth feels hostile. This is where things become almost philosophical. Because what we consider normal is completely alien down there. But let's go back to you. Falling. By now, there is no light, no sound, no sense of direction. Even the idea of up and down begins to disappear. The ocean becomes a void. A black, endless expanse. And yet, the seafloor is approaching. At the very bottom, you would land in something unexpected. Not rock. Not hard ground. But soft, fine sediment. A layer of marine snow. Tiny particles drifting down from above. Dead plankton. Waste. Fragments of life from the surface. For thousands of years, it has been falling. Slowly. Endlessly. This is the food source for the deep. A constant, silent rain of death. And creatures here have adapted to wait. To conserve energy. To survive on almost nothing. Some barely move at all. Because moving costs energy. And energy is everything. Others have enormous mouths. Capable of swallowing prey nearly their own size. Because in a place where food is rare, you don't get a second chance. But the most shocking discovery is what scientists found in the deepest trenches. Plastic. Fragments of human waste. At the bottom of the world. Even here. In the most remote place on Earth. Human impact has arrived. This changes everything. Because it means there is no untouched place left. And that raises a disturbing question. If we can reach the deepest part of the ocean without ever going there ourselves, what else are we affecting? The deep ocean is not isolated. It's connected. To the surface. To the air. To us. Every piece of plastic. Every chemical. Every change in temperature. Eventually finds its way down. Slowly. Silently. Inevitably. And this is where the story becomes bigger than just survival. Because the deep ocean is one of Earth's most important systems. It stores carbon. Regulates climate. Supports life in ways we barely understand. Disturb it. And the effects ripple outward. Across the entire planet. Like pulling a thread. In a fabric you can't fully see. But the real mystery is how much we still don't know. We have mapped more of the moon than the